everyone, this is BioPhoenix here, and today we're going to be taking a look at Diddy Kong Racing on the Nintendo 64, which was released in 1997 and developed and published by Rareware. Now there is also a DS version, but we're only going to be talking about the N64 version, since that is the one I know best. And in case you didn't know what this game was called already, well, it's a racing game, with Diddy in it, and there's also some other characters such as Timber, Bumper, Pipsy, Crunch, Drumstick, Conker, who is known from Conker's Bad Fur Day, and Banjo, who is known from Banjo-Kazooie. There is also an unlockable character named TT, who is a clock, and, well, I gotta say, he's a bitch to unlock. And oddly enough, there is a story within this game. The story goes on a little bit like this. Timber the Tiger and his family go on a vacation and let Timber have the island to himself to have a race with his friends. Wow, now he has a lot of responsibilities since he's going to be taking on an island on himself. Next thing you know, they're going to be starting a Project X party there. Okay, just kidding, that's not actually going to happen, but seriously though, that's something you really gotta wonder though, is that when you leave someone onto like an island by himself with a bunch of their friends, you'd think they would just like party up and like fuck shit up. Okay, we're kinda getting off topic here, but anyways, someone named Wizpig shows up out of nowhere and ruins all the fun. So now all the characters have to race to save the island. Now yes, the story is very silly and all, but I mean, what would you suspect from a game like this? I mean, honestly, I didn't even care when I was playing this game as a kid. I was just like, okay, you know what, fuck story, we need to fucking race. So there really does not need to be an in-depth story within this game. Now as for the gameplay for this game, I think it's already clear enough to you guys that it's a racing game, and it's very similar to Mario Kart, but there are many differences though. Such as one thing is that you can actually select between 3 different vehicles, such as a go-kart, a hovercraft, and an airplane. Now if you ask me, that is pretty fucking awesome. And this game has a hub world, which is actually pretty interesting for a racing game since I've never seen any other game do this before this one. And there are some pretty unique bosses, which is kinda cool. Like I really do like the dinosaur boss where you have to go around the spiral. Even though if you fall off the spiral, you're pretty much screwed, but I mean other than that though, it's still a pretty interesting one. So overall, it's a racing game that's trying to be a little bit different, but it's actually pretty awesome. Now the controls in this game are great. I really have no complaints at all, so therefore, all I can say is that the controls actually work very well. Man, I haven't made a short description about controls in a while. Now the graphics in this game are actually really nice for its time. Most notably would have to be the bright colors and the great level design. I'm actually a really huge fan of the graphics in this game just because of the fact it makes you feel really happy. So overall, no complaints about graphics at all. Now as for the music in this game, I think it's good and catchy. Now it may not be my favorite when it comes to music from Rareware, but it is still really good. Also very nostalgic for me as well. Then again, it was composed by David Wise, who is amazing after all. Since that David Wise is so wise about making video game music. Okay, that was a horrible pun, but seriously though, it had it coming eventually. But either way, the music is really good. Now as for the voice acting in this game, it's not bad. I mean sure, it's nothing astounding, but I mean it at least does the job. But most likely the most iconic voice in this game would have to be Taj the Blue Elephant's voice with his accent. But overall, I think the voice acting is fine. Now something funny as a kid when I used to play this game a lot, is that every time I was using Diddy, I did not do very well with him, but then every time I would not use him, he would at least catch up to me really quickly or he would kick my ass. So just for the hell of it, when I was a kid, I used to just call him Shitty. Now I don't mean shitty as in like S-H-I-T-T-Y, I mean shitty as in like S-I-D-D-Y, because you know it rhymes with Diddy. I know, I'm so immature, am I? But you also gotta remember, I was a kid at the time, so you know, it's to be suspected. But that is just something I wanted to say, because it was something that always made me laugh for a long while. Now, if you want to buy this game, it'll cost you at least around $10 around, maybe a bit more. But either way though, it's not very expensive. I actually do see it around quite often. Now, if I were to rate this game, I'd have to give it a 9 out of 10. Simply put, it's a very awesome racing game. In fact, it is actually one of my favorites on the system. And Rareware did a very bang-up job on this one. And I did not see a lot of bad things about the game either, so that's why I'm giving it a 9 out of 10. But, however, there is one complaint I do have, but it's nothing really major though. And that one complaint is that I find that the multiplayer within this game is not as fun as compared to, like, let's just say Mario Kart 64. I don't know why, I just never liked it as much, but either way, it's still a pretty interesting multiplayer. It's just, I just found that Mario Kart 64 had a better one, personally. So I guess that's not really a real complaint, it's just more like a comparison in my own opinion, but seriously though, it's still a good multiplayer. It's just, you know, not my forte, for as in, like, best multiplayer thing ever, but either way though, I mean, at least this game has a story mode, which is fucking cool. Now, believe it or not, there was going to be a sequel to this game onto the GameCube, which was announced in 2001, but unfortunately the game never came out since, well, that was the time when Rare got bought out by Microsoft, which really sucks, and I know I've complained about that in my Donkey Kong Country review, so you can go check that out if you really want to, but unless maybe I could explain a little bit on it here, but either way though, that trailer actually did look pretty damn cool though, I will admit. So yeah, you can also check out the trailer for it too, I'm sure you can find it somewhere on YouTube. But however, the closest that we ever got to a sequel was actually a remake on the DS, which I mentioned already. And one thing I will mention about it is that I find it really weird that they actually did replace two characters, which were, they replaced Conker and Banjo with two other characters from the Donkey Kong series, which, I mean, it's understandable why they replaced them since, well, you know, they were both owned by Microsoft now, but either way though, it's just something I wanted to point out. But anyways, I don't even know how much else I can talk about this game, but either way, it's an awesome racing game, and it's worth getting for the 64 if you have one. So, without further ado, I really hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching and commenting.